Reserve time.
Alright guys, sorry missed a little bit of the draft there. You guys must have been wondering what the heck I was doing. Oh, I was talking to the players and the water went down the wrong pipe. I was choking, calling for help in chat. But we're okay. We have recovered. We're set for another game. Whew. People watching the VOD on YouTube are like, what the hell is going on with this guy?
10 seconds remaining.
Well, now you know.
5
Alright, let's get into the game. Alright, so I'm Niz. We're watching SCS. This is the quarterfinals. We just saw Team Nemo, aka Vacation, play last game. They're going to be on the dire side, and they're going to be going up against Invictus Shadowy International. Interesting name. I haven't heard of these guys before, so maybe they'll surprise us. Well, let's get right into the draft. Man, I'm still recovering from that choking spree there. But we've got Axe and Sniper banned out by Team Nemo. Invictus banned out the Troll Warlord and the Juggernaut. They then first picked the Shadow Shaman, the Rasta, and Nemo picked the Bat Rider in response and the Venomancer. So interesting. They're already essentially showing their off-laner and most likely their mid-laner. Venomancer, of course, was run as a support for a very, very long time. But recently, he's pretty much been strictly run in that mid-role. So we see two of the pretty important hero picks early on from Nemo. Definitely different than how they drafted last game.
10 seconds remaining.
See if they have some plan. I'm assuming they've got some plan for that. As Invictus then fires back with a Shadow Fiend, so we know most likely who's going to be going mid against that Venomancer. TA was then banned by the Templar by Invictus, so they're not convinced that Venomancer is going to be going mid, as they now know the Veno is going to be going against a Shadow Fiend, which Shadow Fiend actually, he can get souls from Veno wards, which is quite important to note. A little bit of a scummy strategy that my team we used to do a long time ago. When if we were on the dire side, Veno was one of my really strong heroes. I've been playing Veno for a really long time, and he was like one of my signature support heroes, and without hyping myself up, some teams respect banded against me, which is awesome. But we also had Goofy, who was a fantastic mid player on the Shadow Fiend, and we'd be able to pick both those heroes and feel comfortable playing both of them. But on the dire side, what we were able to do is go down the mid lane and throw some Veno wards into the pit, have Roche attack it, and then Shadow Fiend just denies the ward, and he was able to start off the game with 10 or 11, sometimes 12, depending on if Roche wanted to cooperate, souls off the start of the game, which is a huge advantage for the Shadow Fiend. But yeah, so he can get souls from killing those Veno wards, and that means that they're maybe going to just bail out of having that Veno in the mid lane. We'll have to see. If they don't, Shadow Fiend's going to be in a pretty good position. Veno should be doing okay against the Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend's going to be able to get souls pretty easily. And on top of that, it's a Radiant side Shadow Fiend, so he can always back and clear some stacks in the jungle as well. So this Shadow Fiend's got all the makings of being off to a pretty good start. We had Void was then banned after the TA by Invictus, and then Nemo fires back by banning two supports, the Dazzle, which pairs incredibly well with the Shadow Fiend with the minus armor, as well as just people like to put a lot of pressure on the Shadow Fiend. Dazzle picks up an early TP, TPs to that mid lane, and with Shallow Grave, make sure that Shadow Fiend is not going to fall. So they removed the Dazzle, so that's not a possibility for Invictus. They also removed the Witch Doctor, a hero that I think would give them a pretty frail lineup if they're going to have the Witch Doctor and the Shadow Shaman, but they both can work together. decently well. Their spells actually complement each other incredibly well. But like I said, I think they would have been a little frail. I'd like to see them maybe get something a little bit more beefy that can step up in the front lines. Of course, that's actually Shadow Fiend. It's weird. For a long time, he was considered as a very squishy hero, a hero that you just put pressure on and he falls over, especially in a team fight. If you can get on him and really focus him down, he'd fall over. But recently, we've seen
Reserve time.
basically everyone build him very, very tanky, getting the mech on him, getting the Yules. And Yules doesn't exactly tank you up per se, but it does help keep you alive. And oh my goodness, another hero that's going to help keep him alive is the Omni Knight, as Invictus picks that up as their third pick. But they are going to be going up against the Tinker, which Tinker is frankly a giant pain to deal with. If Tinker gets his boots of travels up and he gets his blink up, it's so difficult to stop a Tinker from putting limitless pressure on you. Because he just TPs to a lane, blinks into the trees, and just throws down a couple marches and then TPs away. So you have a very limited time to actually jump on him. The way that you actually have to stop that Tinker is just anticipate where he's going to go and set up so that you're there. So as soon as he arrives on the scene, you're already there. You don't have to make a rotation. You don't have to make an adjustment. You have to predict exactly where he's going to go. And that's how you deal with Tinker. But Tinker's going to create a lot of space for this team. He's going to put a lot of pressure on them. It's going to give them quite a bit of late game scaling as well. And they're already showing that they're not going to let you take towers. They've got Tinker that can arrive and lay down that march, which makes it very difficult to push into. But they've also got Veno who's going to be able to spam wards, and which makes it incredibly difficult to push into. And even one of the other strengths of Veno is even if you get into a team fight at a tower, say you want to go and try push a tier 1 tower, to push a tier 2 tower, push whatever tier the tower may be, if you get into a fight, if Veno gets an ult off, and that ult hits a bunch of heroes, you're basically going to have no HP to push on the back of that fight. Even if you win the fight, you're going to all be such low HP, it's going to be difficult. If there's a hero or two left on the side of Nemo, you basically can't push. Of course, Omni Knight with his heal is going to be able to, keep people alive a little bit more. But still, that's got to cool down. And if Omni Knight dies in the fight, you don't have that. We saw the teams round out their fourth picks here as Earthshaker was picked up by Nemo and Storm Spirit was picked up by Invictus. So they got Storm and Shadow Fiend. So it looks like they're actually going to take that Shadow Fiend and not put it mid. They're going to put it in the safe lane and put the Storm Spirit mid up against that Venomancer. With Invictus looking for an offlaner, that's going to get Tidehunter's going to get banned out by Nemo, and Nemo's going to be looking for. Well, I want to say a support, but they're going to ban out the Drow Ranger, so they're not convinced that Veno is going to be going mid either. So they think it's actually going to be rotated into the support position. And we'll have to see what Nebo actually chooses as their fifth pick here, because that's going to give us a lot of information on what that Veno is going to be doing. As they've got not too much time left to choose here. They only got about 15 seconds left when we include the reserve time. So they've got to make up their mind quickly, and they're going to go with the Spectre.
Radiant team pick.
Interesting. Okay, so it's going to be Batrider offlane, Tinker mid, Spectre safe lane farming with the Veno and the Earthshaker. The Earthshaker may... Well, it all depends on what the offlaner pick is going to be here from Invictus. Earthshaker may actually sit mid and put a lot of pressure on this mid hero, get Tinker that early start. He's not going to be soaking XP, but Earthshaker's a hero that can actually fall behind in XP. And in levels early on, it's not the biggest thing, biggest deal. It's more important that he helps really control the pace of the game in the first couple minutes. And Earthshaker's incredible at doing that. So he may actually start with like boots first and clarities and put a lot of pressure on mid lane. We're going to have to see. But that's really dependent on the off-lane pick here from Invictus. And if they determine that it's an off-laner that... I mean, well... I think Veno's really good at zoning in general, so he should be able to zone out pretty much any pick that they can take here. So I think Earthshaker is going to be free to do that. The other way that they could look at it is just say, you know what, we're going to stick the Earthshaker in the top and use that to help zone for Spectre, and Veno's going to sit in the jungle and farm up a little bit. I think the Earthshaker being in the mid lane is probably the better route. As Nilo typically, well, last game we saw him on the Sand King in the jungle. So I imagine if they were planning on doing that with the Veno, it would be Nilo playing that as well. But the last pick is going to be Viper. Viper, Shadow Fiend, Storm. I honestly don't think I've ever seen those three heroes get all played together in the same game. It's, you know, I look at the chat and Karul says this draft gonna be fun. It definitely is gonna be fun, because I don't really know what Invictus is doing here with their lineup, but hopefully they're going to show us what they can do. As let's introduce them. We've got Invictus on the Radiant side. Playing their Storm Spirit is going to be DDS7. Playing the Rasta is going to be Pinky Panda. Playing the Shadow Fiend is going to be Argius. Playing the Omni Knight is going to be Sir Arentia. Arentia? Maybe I have to roll my R's a little bit there. I can't do it very well. But it's going to be Sir Arentia playing the Omni Knight. And we've got Steel on the Viper. Looks like it's going to be an offlane Viper. All right. Well, I mean, that's who I would guess. It's either offlane Viper or going for some kind of aggressive trialing. But it looks like it's going to be offlane Viper. Now, the Dire side. We saw them last game. It's Team Nemo, aka Vacation in the brackets. Playing their Venomancer is going to be Boobsies. Playing the Batrider is going to be On 99. Don't think he was in the last game. Playing the Earthshaker is going to be Nilo. Playing the Spectre is going to be Shadow. And playing the Tinker is going to be Teddy Westside.
The battle begins.
So, you know, I talked about in the draft about Earthshaker, starting with the boots and clarities. He actually got a set of tangos. I honestly think he doesn't really need the set of tangos. I think he could have just spent more gold on 2 more sets of clarities and put a lot more pressure on mid lane. But I think with that Viper pick, they were a little wary of what the lanes were going to be.
Fortunes change.
So the tangos were maybe a little bit of safer route if he was going to get stuck up here in the top lane. But I would really like to see him make those rotations to the mid lane. And with the boots first, he's showing that he wants to make some movement. As Steel's going to get wrapped around here, I think we're going to have first blood as he's caught all out of position. And this is, well, not how they expected the lane to go. As Steel's going to go down, Shadow's going to get the first blood. And it's a little weird. Viper didn't even start with boots first. So not only is he going to be a hero that doesn't have an escape in the off lane, or any way to really kind of protect himself. You look at Centaur, doesn't have an escape, but he's a really big, beefy hero. Viper, not so much. You know, he was beefy last game, but that's because, you know, he had some levels under his belt. He had treads. He had a mech. You know, this offlane Viper doesn't have any of that available to him yet. So he's going to be very, very squishy. If he gets caught out by a fissure, he's pretty much dead. Well, we've been looking at the top lane so far. Let's take a look at what's going on in the other lanes. It's the Shadow Fiend mid up against the Tinker. And in the bottom lane, we've got the offlane Batrider up against the Storm Spirit and the Rasta. And what they're actually going to be able to do is rotate the Omni, which he's already rotated completely to the top lane. As he's going to be able to sit up here with the Viper. And I think they probably should have just started this way. Maybe... I don't know. I don't know why they didn't start with just the Omni up here. But they know if they're going to be down here, they're going to be going up against the Batrider, and just the 2 heroes should be perfectly fine against the Bat, which frees up the Omni Knight to support that Viper in the top lane. And with Omni up here, a Viper off lane kind of makes a little bit more sense. This 2-1-2 lane has a little bit more potential. Well, we had Haste picked up in the bottom location by Pinky Panda.
I deserve this.
And unfortunately, he not able to lock down Teddy Westside long enough. He just has the 1 point into Hex. Ooh. With that rotation out of the bottom lane, On 99 sensing an opportunity and picks off DDS7 with the solo kill. That's not something I see every day, but we've got more initiations in the top lane. As the fissure has been used, Sir Aranthia is going to go down, but Shadow is also getting incredibly low as they're going to try to focus him down. Nilo's going to come around, try to help out his teammate. He will get the stun off onto Steel. Steel with a really long range on that auto attack, but Shadow will be okay in the end, and both will just go back to farming and soaking XP. But Nemo off to a pretty quick start. We actually saw last game they fell behind early on in the game, so this time they're off to an early start. And Rost a little pissed off with the fact that his Storm Spirit got picked off when he made the rotation, so throwing a few auto attacks off onto On99, making sure to harass him down. But On99, he's not scared. He's popped the Firefly, he's going to rush in, but he is going to get caught in the shackle shot, or not the shackle shot, the whatever the heck it's called, the rope thing that's tying him down to the ground. But On99 will get the kill onto Pinky Panda, but it'll cost him his life. But DD7 getting incredibly low as well. You know, maybe an auto attack or two more that coming out from On99, and that could have been a double kill with him surviving. But DDS7 played it well enough to make sure that he at least got the return kill for that kill on his roster. Boobsy's making a rotation to the mid lane. Looking like he's going to try to put some pressure on, but well, maybe not. Maybe he heard that TP? I don't know. It looks like he came here and backed away immediately. He actually he's probably responding to the fact that Shadow Fiend backed. Shadow Fiend, of course, saw the rotation from the Venom through the Observer Wards in the top rune location, and he backed to start farming up this camp, and knowing that right after he can make his move to the bottom to get that rune, which luckily for him was a regen rune. Of course, he knew that from the Observer Ward. But yeah, Veno realizing that his rotation wasn't really going to make create an opportunity. As we got sec, please, as they call for a pause. I'm going to mute my mic for a second and take a sip of water. I've managed to learn how to drink since the last time. No choking this time around. But unfortunately we are still paused. But it does give us a little bit of an opportunity here to look at the lanes and see how everything's going. Mid lane we've had that Shadow Fiend up against the Tinker, and I hate this damn game is pause thing in the middle of the screen. We're going to try to... There we go. We've got this matchup. The Shadow Fiend, who's doing quite well, 25-6. He's actually our leader in CS right now. And he's been going up against Teddy Westside on the Tinker, who's 15-4, falling quite a bit behind in CS in that lane. But that Tinker is going to be able to farm very, very quickly once he gets his boots of travel under his belt. But he's got to get there. He's already purchased his boots, which are flying in from the courier right now. And then in the bottom lane, we've seen a lot of action going on down here. It's the leader in farm is DDS7. Who's at 24-4 on the Storm Spirit, but on 99 hasn't been doing too poorly. 15-0, 16-0 now, which, you know, if you consider they're, you know, against each other 1v1, it would look like the Storm's dominating quite a bit. But this roster's been down here quite a bit, and on 99 he's gotten some decent trades. He's 2-1 right now. As it looks like they're going to try to wrap around on bottom, but also there's action at the top as Boobsy's getting kind of low, and they elected not to actually make the wrap around on 99. And they're just going to resort to just farming and soaking XP in that bottom lane. And Boobsy's got incredibly low there. He doesn't have any more regen, so he's probably going to stack a camp and make his way back to the fountain. There he goes. There's some raises going off in the mid lane. But let's hop back up into the top lane and see how the two farmers are doing up here. As Shadow been completely limited down to 9-1 CS. Yikes. This is the kind of thing that I expected from last game. That aggressive tri-lane really needed to limit Shadow's farm when he was on the Juggernaut, but he was able to get a lot of CS. This game, not so much, so we're going to have to see how Shadow looks to rebound from this position. Steel, however, this offlane Viper, he got first blooded, but he's at 28 and 8 CS. In fact, all 3 cores on the Radiant side have the highest CS in the game. That didn't really make sense, but the top 3 CSers in the game all belong to the Radiant side. That's what I was trying to say. That makes a little bit more sense. But our top farmer, 47 and 7, Argius, is in trouble here as they're going to wrap around onto him. Boobsies and Nilo are going to initiate Fissure, followed by whatever this is called, the Venomous Gale, and Argius will go down. Nilo's going to get the kill. And that's 1,100, almost 1,200 gold on Nilo already. And is he going to go and get the Arcane Boots? I think he should. Yes, he will. Because both these heroes are going to need it. Oh my goodness. Boobsies. A little too far to get the mana from the Arcane Boots. Nilo need to help his teammate out, especially if he's going right back to Fountain. You need to help his teammate there. Give him a little bit of mana. Obviously, he thought he was close enough, but unfortunately, just out of the range. But what's actually quite interesting is Arcane Boots are very, very important for Venomancer. He needs some way to get his mana pool increased, both his total mana pool and some way to regen his mana. The total mana pool is actually the most important part. Because basically, if you're a Venomancer and you're a support and you don't really have stat items like you would if you were in a core position, well, actually in the bottom lane, I'll get to that point in a second, as On 99 gets held in the shackle. But he's going to follow it up by a shackle of his own. He's going to use Lasso onto DDS7, forcing him to ball lightning away. And when he does, Pinky Panda then becomes the focus. And On 99 is going to combine with Nilo to get the kill there. And going back to that point I was just making about, oh, never mind, DDS7, that was a little bit of a ballsy play, as they're going to turn around on him, and he could lose his life as a result. Shadow is going to pop in, use the reality haunt, whatever it's called, reality haunt, yeah, there we go, to come in and try to get the kill into DDS7, but unfortunately, one auto attack away from being able to secure that kill, maybe actually 2, depends. Would have been close. Would have been very, very close with the Desolate. But yeah, when you don't have the items that give you the plus stats and stuff like that on the support Venomancer, then you actually, as soon as you get 6, if you get your ultimate, you don't really have the mana to use your ultimate and use anything else pretty much. You need to increase your total mana pool in some way. So Arcane Boots are actually very, very important. And a lot of Veno players will actually completely forego getting ultimate at 6 because they just don't have the mana pool. And they basically align when they're going to be skilling their Poison Nova with when they're going to be getting their Arcane Boots, or some way to offset that mana pool that they require. Now let's going to initiate with a Fissure in the bottom lane, but the Lasso is going to be on to the Rasta, and Pinky Panda is going to take another fall there. Good pickoff, and good initiation from Nilo, saying, you know what, I could Fissure stun, stop both these heroes, and that'll allow On 99 to jump in and get the Lasso off. Well, we'll have to see what they plan to do here. As, it looks like they've decided to stick the Spectre in the bottom lane, saying, you know what, we need to get our Spectre out of that top lane, get him farming somewhere. And they found space in the bottom lane. On 99 has basically had everything that he needs. He's at 1,800 gold. He needs his Blink Dagger, but he's gotten plenty in the lane, and he can get the rest of that in the jungle. As he's got the levels under his belt, which means he can farm the jungle very, very quickly.
Radiant's middle tower
And they definitely
attack.
need to get this Spectre started farming. As you know, look at his CS. He's 20 and 1 right now, which is not where he wants to be, especially going up against the cores on the Radiant side that have 92, 69, and 66 CS. But they are going to get a pick off here on Argius, as On 99 and Nilo once again combining for another kill. Oh, Pinky Panda will get the shackle off onto Shadow, but as soon as that ends, he's going to go down. In fact, On 99 will get the kill with the Flame Break, and that will allow him to finish his Blink Dagger.
Radiant's middle
Top
tower
lane,
is
Sir
under
Arentia
attack.
and Boobsies, and a little bit of exchange there. Surarentia using the purification to get his HP pool up. Luckily enough, he actually was able to deal damage as well to Boobsies, but he'll use Before Seas Repel and try to back. And oh, he will try to get the turnaround onto Boobsies, and he will get the kill with the help of the creeps. Oh my goodness, he's even going to try to get the kill into Nilo here. Nemo completely underestimating what this Omni Knight can do. As I was pretty sure that the Omni was going to go down there, and I think even when he turned around and went for the Veno, that he was sure that he was going to go down, but he tried to take a kill with him. And not only did he get the kill, but he was even able to get on out of there alive. Oh, we've got the Blink. Pinky Panda's going to get picked off again here, as we're going to have a Blink Lasso, and he's going to pull him right back to Shadow. Shadow, pay attention! No, Pinky Panda's not going to fall. Where is Shadow? Shadow has already used his dagger, so he's not going to be able to use that. Still on cooldown for 7 seconds. But all he needed was an auto attack or two, and he will come in and they will get the kill. But having to dive a little bit deep for that. If Surarentia was able to TP a little bit earlier, that could have been just what the Rasta needed to stay alive. Oh my goodness. Argus stepping up into the march. And I think he realized he was going to take some damage from that march, but Nilo lays down the fissure once he gets to the point where he's going to want to back out of that march, and he was just taking way too much, and he goes down as a result. Let's switch on over to the net worth and see how everyone's doing in the game. Top farmer on the Dire side is that Bat Rider at 49k, or 4.9k, I should say 49k. Geez, that would be impressive at 13 minutes. 4.9k net worth. Next on his team is the Tinker at 4.7. But the story of the game is this. Where is it? Oop, there we go. The Spectre in the mid lane. His net worth only 3k. They've got to get him back in this game. He just has phase boots and 1100 gold. They've got to get him back in this game, and they've been doing a decent job so far. They've been moving him around, and they've been starting to create space for him. And a lot of that hinges on the fact that the Spat Rider just needed to get his Blink Dagger and needed to start setting the pace. Action in the top lane. Steel will throw the Viper Strike out on the Boobsies, and he'll go down once the Purification is used on the Viper. But Omni Knight will go down as well, and now I think Steel's going to go down. So yes, they came in, they got a kill onto the Venomancer, but they're going to lose 2 heroes as a result, and DDS7 wants to come in and put pressure onto the Tinker, but the Echo Slam will lock him down, followed by the Fissure. And DDS7 is he? Yeah, I think he's going to go down here as they're going to chase him down. Shadow will get the right click to finish him off. And complete disaster for Invictus. And as well, the fight recap doesn't really show it, but they lost 3 heroes and they just got 1.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We saw the same thing last game. You know, teams trying the team last game was trying to get pickoffs against Nemo, and it just didn't happen. They weren't able to finish off the kill, and Nemo was just able to turn around and get pickoffs on 99. Once again, trying to lasso and Pinky Panda, really trying to feed off this Rasta, but not getting the kill here this time around. But the fight's still going. They might be able to get the kill as Boobsies gets held into the shackle by Pinky Panda, and I think we're going to get a complete disengage here as Pinky Panda gets low, but he's not going to get low enough to actually
Radiant's middle tower is under
die.
attack.
And everyone's just gonna TP away, go back, get some mana and health from the fountain, and they're gonna come back and do it all again. Well, let's take a look at the gold graph and Nemo. I knew they fell behind early, but yeah, with those couple fights, they've definitely. I mean, I have a feeling this is around the time that the Bat Rider got his blink, as he's starting to set the pace, but he just got picked off again. Yeah, so Nemo leading the way with about 11,000 or 1,000 gold lead, and if we look at the XP, they're about 3,000 ahead there.
Dire's top tower is
Nilo
under
needs to be
attack.
careful here. I think he's going to be fine. He's just going to back away. Pinky Panda's the only one who's actually going to be able to walk him down. But oh my goodness, Nilo walks right back into Argus, so he actually has the range to get the Yules off. Ouch. That's not what he wanted to have happen, especially with an Invisor spawning there. He actually could have been able to take that and get out of there safely, as they didn't have any detection on those 2 heroes. I mean, they had this Sentry Ward down, but he would have... They took that as a result. He could just... Well, let's take a look at all the items that we got on the Radiant side here. We've got Storm. It's taken him a little while. It's taken him a little while to get that Orchid going. But he is making progress. He's already got one Oblivion Staff finished. He's got a Sage's Mask working towards the second one, but still definitely a little bit behind where you want him to be at this point in the game. He's going to jump in and actually initiate on the Boobsies here, but I think he's just going to have to back away as On 99 is there. Pinky Panda is going to try to wrap around from the back. He's got the Viper and the Omni Knight with him, but he's going to go down immediately. And now Steel's going to get grabbed with the lasso by On 99, and I think Viper's going to go down. Sir Arentia is going to pop the Guardian Angel to make sure he gets out of there, but then, well, there's no getting away from a Blink Tinker. A Blinker. As they get the pick off there. So they do get the kill onto Boobsies. Boobsies was, he died from the dot damage from the Viper. They lose 3 heroes in the process, and well, they might actually be able to get a kill here on Shadow as he's dropping pretty low. DDS7 will actually get the complete solo kill on him. So that was a great pick off for them. Pinky Panda now, unfortunately, I think you're in wrong place, wrong time, as he's going to take another fall. Teddy West side did get ward trapped there, but good job by On 99 to use the Force Staff to push his teammate out of there. And we're starting to see the effect of just the amount of gold that's on this Dire side. And they weren't ahead by that much, but I mean, let's finish looking at all the items on this Radiant side. We've got Storm almost done with that pick off on the Spectre, almost done his second Oblivion Staff. Pinky Panda on the Rasta, he's been struggling. He's working towards an urn, but still quite a ways away from that. Argus has been doing pretty well. He's gone Blink and Eul, so that's a little bit surprising that he chose to go Blink and Eul. Typically, you don't really need to get both. But not valuing getting the mech there. Which is a little interesting. Maybe they feel like the Omni Knight's enough. I really like the mech to tank out the Shadow Fiend. Yeah, especially in this game. DDS7, he's been doing alright. He's got his Tranquil, he's got his Soul Ring, he's doing okay. We got action in the mid lane. The Steel's going to get grabbed by the lasso from On 99 once again. And Steel is not going to be able to get on out of there. He was able to pop his mech, and that's probably the other reason why they didn't put the mech on the Shadow Fiend. I don't know, it's difficult because you've got both heroes that typically get mechs now, and that really tanks them up. And I think the Shadow Fiend, this is a much older school Shadow Fiend. You know, running it on a team where he's not going to get the mech. And I realize Eul's is an item that's been around for a long time, but it's also considered a more new school item, and everyone seems to be picking it up on every hero. And Shadow Fiend, it kind of makes sense, but I feel like the Eul's is also, it's a great offensive, but also a defensive item for Shadow Fiend. And I don't know if he really needs the Blink Dagger combined with the Eul's for 2 offensive items. I feel like he's a little lacking on his ability to do a lot. Like, he's great at picking off a hero, but when a full team fight comes out, I think he still has to be very, very careful with what he's able to do. I would have liked to see him maybe work towards a BKB instead of the Blink Dagger. I think that would have given him a lot more strength, but who knows? He probably knows a little bit better than me when it comes to playing the Shadow Fiend. Well, he's playing a competitive game as a Shadow Fiend, and I'm just sitting here casting for y'all. As we are going to see the Requiem of Souls come out, but it's going to get On 99 kind of low. Well, actually, it's going to get him low enough for DDS7 to jump on in with the Ball of Lightning and finish him off. But DDS7 will throw away his life for that kill, and they will be able to get another kill onto Boobsies. So picking off the Venomancer.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So it was a good trade for them. They did get 2 kills. You know, they lost 1, but they got 2 kills there. So it's a step in the right direction. And let's actually take a look at the Dire side now in terms of items, as Pinky Panda gets picked off one more time as Nylo lays down the fissure. And it has not been a good game for Pinky Panda.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But Boobsies, he's got his Tranquils, an Urn, and a Magic Stick, electing not to really give him anything that's going to give him that amount of mana that I was talking about with the Venomancer. The Magic Stick, actually, if you save charges, does quite a bit for that. But now he's got a couple more levels under his belt that he doesn't really need that mana pool as much anymore. He also has this Arcane Boots from his Earthshaker, so you can use that as well. Kind of piggyback off the back of that and make sure that when Nilo jumps in and initiates with the Echo Slam and Fissure, and then he's going to be using his Arcane Boots on the back of that, that's when Boobsies needs to make sure that he's in there as well, getting hit with those, so that he can lay down his Poison Nova and still have some mana to do some stuff afterwards. Well, On 99's kind of been the story of the game for Nemo so far. Now look at his items. He's got Boots of Travel, Blink Dagger, and Force Staff. He's pretty much set. Pretty much set as a Bat Rider, and somehow I miss a Nerd kill in the mid lane. There's Nilo, Boobsies, and Teddy, West Side, combined for a kill on the Omni Knight. Nilo does have those Arcanes and his Blink. And Spectre, oh my goodness. Requiem just barely going to hit him there. Argus getting the kill, and oh, there we go. Now he gets the kill on Boobsies as he thought his auto attack was going to get the kill there, but Magic Stick usage coming out from Boobsies kept him alive for one more turn, but Argus just coming right back in and finish off that kill. So let's take a look at the Spectre. Not sure what Argus was doing there. Maybe he just kind of blinked forward, thought he's a little bit bigger than he was. As his team wasn't really in position for that kind of play. I wasn't even looking there, but his team was quite a bit back. Viper was quite a bit back, and he basically jumped right into the Tinker. But unfortunately, he dies there. But the Spectre has actually done a decent job of coming back in this game. He's, I mean, we saw last we checked, he had his phase boots, but he's since finished a Diffusal, and he's got a Band of Elven Skin. We're most likely going to be using that to work towards a Manta. So, is he anywhere near where you typically would want a Spectre to be at this point in the game? No, but he's catching up, I'd say. But look at his net worth still. When your Spectre's halfway down the net worth chart, that's a tough time. He's basically playing their position 3 at the moment. And, that's scary. Looking at the difference between the Spectre and the Earthshaker, that is a scary, scary stat. As he's only 1,300 gold ahead of the Earthshaker.
Right this way.
DB7 getting picked off. Nilo showing off the fact that he's got that Blink Dagger as he blinks in and opens with an Echo.
Radiant's top tower is under
Teddy
attack.
West Side's gonna TP in. No, he's gonna cancel. There he goes. He's gonna jump to the top lane. He's got a Dagon 1. He's got a Force Staff. He's got a Blink, and he's got a Boots of Travel. And he's gonna start becoming a big, big threat. I just realized this whole time I've been saying Sir Arentia. And it's Arenita? Oh god, I'm so bad at names like this. I'll try to get it right from this point on. I'll probably screw it up a few more times, but I'll try to get it right. So bear with me, guys. Argus blinking, getting an Invis rune in the bottom location. He's going to go hunting. He's going to try and find someone on this dire side. Actually, no, he's not. He's just going to go buy an Eaglehorn. Going to try and... Nope. Look at this smart play coming up from Boobsies. Laying down the Sentry Ward, saying, you know what? We saw him get the Invis rune. If he makes a play like this, we can open on him right here and go for him. This is actually a little unfortunate that he's got that the Plague Ward down, because it would give away. As soon as basically Shadowy gets here, the Plague Ward would attack. See the tier 1 go down in the mid lane there. And Tinker just finishing his Dagon level 2. He's just going to continue farming as he jumps down to the bottom lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And this one's been... they've had quite a few kills. But in terms of teams looking to push towers, they've both been a little defensive on that front. There's not too many towers have gone down. 2 towers have gone down for each side. But not too much beyond that. I'm actually going to switch over to the kills, deaths, assists in the top left here. And I guess it's no surprise at all that the Bat Rider leading the way at 10, 3, and 5, as he's definitely had the biggest impact on this game, and that's what they're looking for when they pick Bat Rider. They want the Bat Rider to be having that kind of impact on the game, making himself known all over the place. Boogsy's doing a pretty good job of laying down some plague wards, making sure that they always have vision of these areas of the map. They don't have an observer ward down covering bottom rune, but he's making sure that he's got a plague ward spotting any kind of rotation coming through down there. Just giving them that information. Now he's even using them to help him counter ward there. Oh, they're going to jump onto Nilo in the top, or in the mid lane. And, well, there was 5 there, but they do get the kill on the support Earthshaker. And you know what? A kill's a kill. And they're going to look to try and push this tier 1 tower in the mid lane, but as soon as those marches come down, I think they might, they're going to back up and think better of it. Oh, actually, they're going to just jump onto On99 using that Yules and the Blink Dagger coming out from the Shadow Fiend. Nyla's going to buy back. Boogsies and DDS7 once again trade and go down. DDS7 has been getting some good pickoffs for the team. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to survive them. So it's been a little bit of a rough game as he's 5, 6, and 5 right now. It hasn't been as rough a game for him as it has been for Pinky Panda. 0, 8, and 3. Ouch. We'll switch back to net worth and we'll actually switch to the gold graph. And, well, this one's still pretty close. 2,500 gold around there in favor of Team Nemo. But Teddy Westside says, you know what, let's make that a little bit bigger, as he's going to jump in, uses that Dagon, and just completely blows up Argus, who just finished purchasing his butterfly. And he's a sad panda. He's not a Pinky Panda, that's of course Rasta. He's a sad panda after that one. Pinky Panda doing a little bit of warding of his own. He's already laid down this observer ward.
Fortune's
But
changed.
they don't have any vision of the uphill, so they actually wouldn't know that he laid that down. DDS7 jumping in once again, I believe, onto Shadow. Maybe it was the other way around. Maybe they jumped on him. I'm not sure. But DDS7 will go down. Nilo getting the kill there as the Earthshaker. And this must be so annoying for Invictus to deal with. They've got the Storm that can jump in and help them get pickoffs. The problem is they just can't get him out of there alive. Nilo's been doing a terrific job of locking that Storm down every single time he jumps in. And if he's just locked down for a little bit,
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Oh, he's dead. They've got so much burst damage coming out from the Tinker with the Dagon. Where's it at? It's at now at Dagon 4. Oh, it deals so much damage. It actually deals 700 burst damage prior to magic resist. Argus and on 99, and a little bit of a right-click battle there, but on 99 is one fast little bat as he pops. The Mask and Madness to try to run away, but Argus, with that Blink Dagger in the Yules, is able to catch him back up. On 99 will use the lasso. Shadow's going to right-click him down with the Desolate, dealing a ton of damage. On 99 was able to blink away. Argus will pop the ultimate, trying to deal some more damage, but with Teddy Westside arriving on the scene, that Dagon once again proving useful as they get another kill onto the Shadow Fiend. Now I think they're actually going to lose their Omni Knight as well, as Teddy Westside and now Shadow are going to combine for that kill. Unfortunately, the same time that was going on, Pinky Panda got taken out one more time. And, it's been a rough game for that Rasta. Nilo picks up a Force Staff. This is a pretty big Earthshaker. I was talking a little bit earlier about the that steel's gonna go down here. About the net worth comparison between the Spectre and the Earthshaker. And you know, it's never good when your Spectre is that close to your Earthshaker. But you know, you gotta give a little bit of credit here. Nilo's higher in net worth than any of the other supports by considerable margin this game. He's been playing incredibly well this game. And unfortunately, it's been a little bit of a more difficult game for Shadow on the Spectre, but he's getting there.
Tower is under attack.
Problem is, the Spectre isn't really a flash farmer. He's not going to be able to farm anywhere near as fast as some of the other heroes in the game. And, you know, last we checked in, he looked like he was going to be building his Yasha. He has since finished his Yasha. He had just had the Boots of Elven Skim, but now he's finished his Yasha, and he's almost at the Ultimate Orb. So still hasn't even completed a Manta in all that time, and that's just... It's rough, you know? It's when you fall behind on the Spectre, it's hard to get that CS that you need to get back in the game. He's only now at 121 CS, 32 minutes into the game. DDS7, once again, going to jump in onto On99, who will just jump over the high ground and run away. And DDS7 now in the... Oh my goodness, that was so close. In so much trouble, Shadow was chasing him down. Nilo jumped in, threw down the Echo. But it was right as DDS7 jumped away. But then as he's running away, I think he realized he was going to go down. He zipped into the Ancients, and the Ancients finished him off. Sir Arenita gets picked off there. Shadow getting the kill. And we've got, the Viper Strike going on over there. Steel going to get the kill on his Shadow. I thought that part of the fight was over, but I was wrong. Pinky Panda now going down one more time. On 99, just going down for the last auto attack from Steel, but Teddy Westside jumps in, throws out the Dagon, getting Steel incredibly low. Oh, the nice jukes coming out from Steel there, but I think he's still going to go down in the end. Nilo, what are you doing, man? He's got a fissure, at least he'll be able to lay that down. No, he's going to lay it down onto Argus, and rightfully so. He needs to make sure that his Tinker stays alive. That's more important than getting a kill on the Viper.
Thanks.
And I think that's the end of that. I think so. I'm going to take a sip of water after that one. That was a little rough for me. Action in the middle lane is
I hope it's
Teddy
clear
Westside
which of
picks
us
off Argus
has the degree.
one more time. Kill total now 37 to 18. Nemo definitely starting to run away with this game as they have now passed the 10,000 net worth lead, and XP is not really that important anymore, but it's at it's about 12k lead on that front. Let's actually take a look at the hero levels of everyone and look at those power spikes. As we've got the Spectre just hitting 16 now, but we still have the Venomancer that has to hit 16, although Veno hitting 16 isn't actually that significant. Rasta hitting 16 helps quite a bit, and Omni Knight hitting 16 helps quite a bit. Just one more second on Guardian Angel is actually huge. It's just one more second, right? But it's one more second of physical invulnerability. So that's quite important. But Rasta and Omni are just now at 11, so they've got a long way to go before they hit 16.
Gold for me.
The Veno is closer at 14, but like I said, it's not really that significant getting the poison oak. Yes, it's more damage, but I mean, it's not that significant, the jump from rank 2 to rank 3. Well, actually, let's take a look at... we've got a little bit of a lull in the action here, as both teams are kind of sticking together, but staying separate from each other. So we'll bring up the item chart here, so everyone can catch up with what items everyone's got. DDS7 almost done his Bloodstone, or well, working towards his Bloodstone. What else do we got? Well, looks like we got a Mithril Hammer just picked up by Argus. So he's going to probably build into a BKB. Here we go. Sir Arenita is going to get grabbed by the lasso and pulled back. Niles most likely going to try to lay down the fissure on the back of this, but the repel is keeping the Omni Knight from being stunned up by that fissure, so he's going to hold on to it. Pinky Panda does have the Serpent Wards down, but he's going to go down. DDS7 unfortunately gets picked off one more time. I think maybe he needs to pick up a BKB instead of going after a Bloodstone. It seems like every time he jumps in, he just gets completely locked down by this Earthshaker. Nilo just playing out of his mind right now, making sure that that storm can't do a damn thing. And trying to make sure that the Shadow Fiend can't do anything either, but unfortunately not able to lock down Argus, partly because of that repel. I think we've got a complete disengage, so we'll bring right back up the item screen, as I think they're going to back to go to Roche here. So what do we got that's quite significant? We've got the Heart on Viper, but he's had that for quite some time. Let's actually take a look at how much gold he's got. 900 gold, so he's getting closer to his next item, which I'm not sure what that's going to be. We're going to have to wait and see. Boobsies, nothing too significant. On 99 hasn't really upgraded anything either. Nilo just picked up an ultimate orb, probably going for a sheep, I imagine. The other alternative that a support would be picking up an ultimate orb for would potentially be a Lincoln's. Of course, you can cast Lincoln's on your teammates. But I have a feeling that's going to be a sheep. I'm not really sure what he would have to give his teammates a Lincoln for. So that most likely is going to be a sheep stick. We'll look at Shadow in a second. Teddy Westside just finished a sheep stick while they were killing Roche. So he's got that, a new fresh item in his inventory, but he's also got the Aegis as a nice new fresh item in his inventory. And I said we were going to talk about Shadow. Let's take a look at him right now, because I want to see how much gold he had on hand. 1,800 gold. So yeah, he's finished his Manta. Still just 1,800 gold. He's got such a long way to go to be that real late game threat that everyone associates with Spectre. So it's gonna take him a little bit to get there, but he's making progress. Oh, DDS7 jumping.
Yes.
I saw him jumping to a fissure, and I thought maybe Nilo was close, but not close enough. We've got 4 heroes on the dire side in this top lane. Are we actually going to have a push for a tower? Maybe? Observer Ward gets laid down on this pillar, but there's already sentry there. Of course, they can't see into the high ground with that sentry. Well, actually, they can. There's an Observer Ward there as well.
Radiant's top tower is
I
under
really
attack.
wish you couldn't lay wards like that and be unable to see. I think we're just going to have a tier 2 just completely fall. There's pretty much no way that Invictus is going to be able to fight here. And they're behind. We'll take a look at the net load. They're 15k behind right now. It's going to be very difficult to fight evenly against a team in that kind of position. So when you're down 15k gold, at least you need something to help you in the fight. And they're going to basically make sure that if they're going to defend, they're going to defend up on this high ground with the protection of their tier 3 tower. That's going to give them a lot. It's going to give them the mischance for attacks coming up, and it's also going to give them sight advantage looking down. My goodness, there's like 900 pings going out on the map. So many pings coming out from these players. We're just having a slow siege coming out from Nemo here. And looks like they're going to try to chip away at this tier 2 in the mid lane.
Radiant's middle tower.
Honestly, I don't know what Invictus can do. I don't see how they can initiate into this. So if Nemo just plays positionally sound and chips away at this tower, it's going to go down. Invictus isn't going to be able to initiate in. And they're right. They're right to sit up on that high ground and wait. But it's taken Nemo quite some time to go through this tier 2 tower. As now they're actually really on it and starting to focus it down a bit. But they've only brought it down to half. And you got to keep in mind, there is a timer going on here. That timer is that Aegis, which has it's like a minute and 15 seconds, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how close my timing is. It's probably right around 42 minutes. I think just after 42 minutes that will expire. But we'll see. We'll see my timing. Because I don't think we're actually going to have Aegis get popped before it expires. Now I don't want to look away from the Tinker. But he's all over the place. It's hard not to. We'll just keep him selected. So we've got him in the bottom here, so we can see the Aegis expire and can see just how bad or or maybe how good my timing is on the Aegis. Well, here we go. We're going to have the initiation. We might actually have the Aegis getting used here. Who knows? But Argus lets off a huge Requiem. It's going to deal a ton of damage. Shadow getting incredibly low. He's going to go down. Teddy Westside now is also going to be a focus target. The Tinker's going to go down with Aegis still up. So it was just under 42 minutes. Odd 99 is going to go down. Teddy is going to be able to TP away. And that was a huge fight for Invictus. Absolutely huge. Wow. Not only did the fight go 4-for-1 in their favor, because I don't think there were any buybacks, and let's take a look at the show fight recap. No buybacks. So the fight was 4-for-1, 5-for-1 if you include the Aegis, which I think you should. But like, that wasn't even a fight up on their high ground. That was, I mean, that was in their low ground. They sensed an opportunity and they jumped. And that's exactly what they needed to do. I talked about when they were in the mid lane, when they were mid lane posting up for that tier 2 tower, that Nemo just needs to play tight positionally, spread around that tower to make it difficult for Invictus to try to initiate in. Well, if you're not playing tight positionally like they were down here, how they weren't down here, then Invictus is just going to jump and initiate on you. And there we go. I'm trying to draw an arrow, but apparently my mind thought to draw a circle instead. But yeah, they just jump on, and that was a huge fight for them. I forget what the gold swing was now, but it was close to 7,000 gold swing, and that's huge when you're this far behind. Teddy Westside's going to get picked off as well. That's a godlike streak as well. Just basically showering gold upon them with that death. And Invictus. And how much gold? Oh my goodness. So much gold goes their way. And let's take a look at the net worth graph now. And that's a pretty steep move as it comes right back. This was very close. This was about 1750 or 17,500 net worth lead. It's almost right back to 10k.
What'd I miss?
Let's take a quick little lap around the heroes, take a look at the items, and see what we got so far. 14 charges on the Bloodstone on that Storm. Wow, that'll help him out quite a bit, but it looks like they're actually going to make a rotation to pressure him a little bit here. I'm not too sure if the two of them are going to be able to go. They're going to go in. They are going to use the... Oh, a little miscommunication there, but I think they'll do enough to force him back. And Argus... Lucha travels in, and they're actually going to fight here. The two heroes are going to fight going up against the 4, and it's not Nemo that's the ones dominating the fight. It's, in fact, Invictus. The two heroes is beating out the 4. They're going to get the kill onto Nilo. On 99, still incredibly low. They're going to get the kill onto Boobsies as well. So the two of them walk away with 2 kills. And 2 more. Wow. Go in favor of Invictus. Well, these guys are getting big. They're getting big, and they're becoming a force to be reckoned with. Because you take a look at the net worth, and the Dire side is so heavily skewed towards that Tinker. You take a look at the net worth graph, and yes, they have a lead. And although that lead is dwindling very quickly, 7,500 gold now. You think about how much gold this Dire side has on this Batrider, and you realize... And Batrider, it's good at being able to jump in and pick someone off. But when you get further and further into the game, it becomes harder and harder to pick someone off because people aren't off by themselves. You get into these 5v5 team fights, and it's a lot harder for Batrider to do what he's picked to do, which is to jump in, pick someone off, pull them out of position, and give you a huge advantage at the start of the fight. And it gets incredibly difficult in the late game, trying to play 5v5 in a team fight like that, and also try to pick someone and pull them out of the fight. That's why you need to make sure that you've got the Blink Dagger and the Force Staff. You've got to be able to provide more to your team. And on top of that, pulling someone and lassoing them and pulling them out of position is great and all, but if you guys aren't able to secure the kill, you need to make sure that that Bat Rider is then still providing something to the team. So you see them building into things like Mask of Madness and Yules, items that are going to either help them do more damage or provide them some kind of utility to the team. But in the end, like that's a lot of gold on Bat Rider, a hero that's like just struggling to be viable in the late game. Whereas, you know, he's got basically the same amount of gold as your Spectre. You'd really like to see a lot more of that gold that was that farm that was picked up by their Bat Rider. You prefer it to be on Shadow, on the Spectre, so that he'd be doing so much more in the team fights. Because right now, he's just, I mean, he's not poor by any means, but he's not that huge threat to Team Invictus as Teddy Westside is. He's obviously gigantic. He's the story of the game. He's the story of the net worth. 24.5k net worth in his favor. But Spectre, I mean, he's almost 10k behind that, and he's just not the threat that they need. So when Tinker's not there, it's like they don't have a team there. Invictus, well, they've got
Whoa, what I missed? Zap.
their top 3 carries or cores are all pretty close in net worth, and that means they're all pretty threatening, and they're also all above the Spectre. So yes, they're behind the Tinker, but they're ahead of the Spectre, so they're able to dish out the damage. They're able to jump in and fight a lot more than a lot of the heroes are on Nemo. We are going to get a resume here.
Oh!
I was getting a little tired of listening to that TP sound there. Man, this has been a slow and methodical one coming out from both teams. Part of it is Invictus. It's very difficult for them to siege. I mentioned in the draft, March of the Machines combined with the Plague Lords coming out of the Venno make pretty much pushing uphill very, very difficult. Then you add in the fact that once Nilo gets a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker, as you see, he's got a Void Stone. He is working towards Sheepstick. But once he gets the Blink Dagger, that's really threatening as well when you're trying to push uphill, because he can always blink in with the Echo, with the Creep Wave coming in, and you can take a ton of damage, and it's incredible initiation for Nemo. But very, very difficult to push uphill against Nemo. And that's why we've only seen 2 towers go down. 2 of Nemo's towers to go down. Obviously, Invictus has lost more towers, but take a look at the gold graph. Nemo's still ahead by 5k gold. I have to say that Invictus is in the driver's seat right now. Oh, DDS7 is going to jump in, grab on 99. Going to get him pretty low, but he's going to be able to get on out of there. DDS7 will actually zip back to his team, where Pinky Panda, Argus, and Sir Renita, there we go, picks off Boobsies, and that's a terrific start to the fight. On 99, sitting up here on the high ground, he does have Firefly Pop. He is going to lasso and pull Argus way over here, all the way into the Radiant Jungle, mainly just pulling him away from the fight, and bringing him away from his team that can help him. And Teddy Westside is going to jump in, try to secure that kill onto the Shadow Fiend, but instead it's him desperately running for his life. He is going to throw out some missiles to try and deal some damage to the 2 heroes chasing him down. He's going to pop the Shivas and try to turn around on DDS7. Argus will blink in and help his teammate, and they will get the kill onto Teddy Westside. Meanwhile, up here in the bottom lane is Steel getting focused down by both Shadow and Nilo. So Steel is going to go down. So while, you know, the two strongest cores on the Radiant side are chasing down the strongest core on the Dire side, well, the other heroes are still doing things too, and Steel unfortunately gets picked off as a result of that. And let's take a look at the show fight recap, as it was a 3-for-2 trade, and it does go in favor of Nemo, but basically when you look at the gold exchange and XP exchange and all that, it was a very even fight in the end, despite the fact that 1 extra hero went down.
Here I am.
Most important part is that no one got Roche. So hopefully we'll have another fight over Roche pretty soon. Is on 99 trying to chase down DDS7, just forcing him back, making him burn as much mana as possible, and that frees up the potential for them to go to Roche. It's very difficult for Invictus to come and fight at Roche when they've been forced back because there's no towers left. Take a look at the minimap, and the tier 2 towers in both the mid and bottom lane are both gone, and actually even the top one, although that's not a Roche tower, but it's gone too. They don't have any towers outside of their base, so they've got nowhere to TP to get here quickly. DDS7 will try to jump in, and he'll actually get stunned by Roche, which put him in a little bit of a vulnerable position there, but Argus blinks up onto the high ground here, uses Requiem, but now he's kind of trapped up here, and there we go. He's going to be able to blink and try to come over, throw some right clicks off onto Teddy West side, but I think he'll be okay as he's going to blink away as soon as he can. Nilo throwing down the fissure, blocking Argus from coming and continuing chasing. And Argus is actually just going to blink down into the pit. He's going to start attacking Roche. Roche getting pretty low here. The Dire's going to have to jump. Nilo is just waiting. He's got Echo Slam. And how low is this Roche? He's down to 1,300,000 HP. And they're going to get him.
Roshan has fallen to the
Aegis is still on the ground. Is someone going to be able to pick it up? It gets pinged out, and Viper's going to be the one who's going to pick it out. As Shadow's going to jump in. He's going to get the kill onto Pinky Panda. Bearers is trapped in the Roche pit. There we see the Echo Slam going off. Argus is going to go down, but On99 goes down as well at the same time. And Nilo goes down. Teddy Westside and Shadow are both the two heroes alive on Nemo. As Teddy Westside is going to jump, or TP away, but he'll rejoin the fight as soon as he gets some mana. And Shadow's actually going to TP away as well, and that's the end of that. My goodness. Whew. These fights are crazy. These fights are so crazy. There's so much zipping and zapping coming out of the storm, and then so many blinks going out as well. It's so hard to keep track of all the action that's going on. I'm trying to zoom out the camera and give you guys as a wide a view as the fight as possible, but the fights are just all over the place. It makes it very difficult to follow. But my goodness, we're still having these close fights. It's 45 to 30 in favor of Nemo. The gold graph within 5k. This game is incredibly close. And in the draft, Karul in chat said, this draft, it's going to be fun. And it's made for a pretty fun game. We still haven't seen anyone try to make a push onto that high ground yet. So we still have some more fights to come before this game is going to close out. But the further and further we get into this game, the longer and longer respawn times get, and the more and more important your ability to team fight becomes. Because if you lose a team fight, you could just straight up lose the game. However, one of the most important things is, there we go, took me a little bit, the buybacks as I bring them up on the side. As you can see how many heroes have buyback, and this is incredibly important. You're going to start seeing the support heroes saving for buyback, and pretty much everyone in the game should be getting close to having buyback. And Storm actually buys so that he doesn't have buyback. Well, hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him in the ass. As 54 minutes into the game, buyback is so important, because if you guys lose a team fight, you need to be able to buy back to make sure that you don't lose the game. We're going to have a 5-man smoke here, and they're going to try to take the game to their opponents.
Fear not heresy.
As it's most likely going to be DDS7 leading the way. Blinks ahead, or jumps ahead. He's quite a bit ahead of his team.
You needed an
But
altitude
they will
adjustment.
be able to quickly get the kill into On99, and that's a lot of farm. Now you take a look at how much net worth that Batrider has. That's 15k net
Dire's middle
worth.
tower is under attack.
So the Batrider doesn't have buyback right now, and
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
you pretty much have a Batrider
Radiant's
down.
top
This might as well be a
tower is under
15k
attack.
net worth for Invictus right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Where's the
Oh,
party?
we're going to get a jump from DDS7 onto Teddy West side. As he's going to get focused down. He's going to drop down to about half, but Nilo throws down the Echo Slam on the other heroes from the Radiant side. Teddy West side's going to go down. He will buy back immediately. On99 must have just ticked up in gold or something,
Dire's middle
but he was
tower
able to
is
buy
under
back.
attack.
He's going to jump in, throw out the lasso, pull Argus out of position, and Argus dropping incredibly low. He will use the Yules on himself at 26 HP, which will allow him to TP, or blink away, but Teddy Westside will be able to secure that kill. Meanwhile, the Serpent Wards that have been laid down in the middle lane are swinging away at towers, but Shadow and Teddy Westside are in this Radiant base, dealing structure damage as well. They've taken down a tier 3 in the top lane. In the mid lane, no Rax damage was done in the end, but that tier 3 tower is down. My goodness, so what do we have for buybacks? We'll bring up the buyback thing now. We had a buyback from the Tinker, we had a buyback from the Bat, and we had a buyback from the Rasta. So 1 buyback from the Radiant, 2 from the Dire. If we just compare that, that's advantage Radiant. Because that's a support with his buyback on cooldown versus 2 cores with buyback on cooldown, and especially the most important core on the Dire side, which is that Tinker. So that's definitely advantage Radiant. Structure damage, tier 3 down on each side, no other structure damage. We can call that one even. In terms of who won out in the end in the fight, I think that's got to be Dire. But in the end, with everything, I think the buyback being used by the Tinker and the Bat, it's not significant the amount of gold that they spent to buy back, but the fact that those are on cooldown for the next little while.
Stupendous!
So I think now is his Invictus Shadowy's moment. They need to take advantage of the fact that those buybacks are on cooldown. The fact that Tinker can't buy back into the game, this is really their moment. This is their point where they have quite a big advantage. And you look at the gold graph, if that's dead even, structures are pretty much even, and you've got the top net worth on the other side with the inability to buy back. This is a huge advantage. As it looks like Nyla is going to go down, DDS7 is going to finish the kill there. Because now they're going to try to chase down DDS7, but where's the Tinker? Where's he? He was down here fighting Argus. And he'll just jump away. Now Shadow's up here, and he's going to go down, and I think this is huge. Absolutely huge for Invictus. And what are these pinks are coming out here? They just need to push down mid really, really quickly. Unfortunately for them, Steel's a little bit low in HP, but they're going to be able to push down mid. They're going to start threatening these racks, and it should force the Spectre to buy back. The Tinker's still available, so they do have their 3 cores available to them. But there's no buyback available for the Venom, no buyback available for the Earthshaker. It's just going to be these 2 cores, and only 2 if Spectre doesn't buy back. Looks like they're going to lose on 99. Oh my god, 7 HP. Okay, he will go down as DDS7 ball lightnings. And there's a gem on the ground, but they're not worried about that. Storm is already holding on to a gem. We're going to have our first set of racks go down here as the melee racks and now the range racks go down in the mid lane in favor of Invictus.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
And they'll back away. They'll show some restraint and back away on the back of that. So unfortunately, Nemo loses their Bat Rider and loses their mid set of racks. One of the good points there was the fact that the Spectre didn't buy back. If he bought back, could they have made sure that the Bat didn't die? Probably. Could they have saved the racks? Probably not. The racks probably still would have fallen, which means him not buying back was probably the right call. Because I just mentioned that the Tinker buyback is, he's still on cooldown for, where is he? For 2.5 minutes, almost 3 minutes. That's a huge vulnerability for their team. So if Spectre were to buy back, that's another vulnerability for their team, because of course if they get a pick off on Spectre, that means Spectre can't buy back, or if Spectre dies early on in the fight, he can't buy back and he can't help join the team. That's a lot of net worth that's sitting in the fountain waiting on a timer to come back into the game. I think what we're going to have is both teams play relatively cautious right now. I don't think anyone's going to try to make a move for a tower or for any kind of real structure based objective play or anything like that, because you've got a lot of heroes on buyback. Actually, no one in the game can buy back right now. No heroes could buy back 60 minutes into the game. And DDS7, well, he's trying to make me look like a fool. So he's going to jump in. Echo Slam's going to come out from Nilo, and DDS7's going to jump away. And again, we've got another hectic fight. The Omni Knight going down without being able to use Guardian Angel. Seal goes down, and what we got down here is DDS7 trying to run for his life as On 99's trying to chase him. Shadow's trying to chase him as well. We had a buyback from Nilo on the Earthshaker, but I believe he was the only buyback in that fight. We bring up the show recap. Yep, it was a 3-for-2 trade buyback coming out from the Earthshaker. So net advantage is actually in Nemo's favor. But another buyback getting used, and just when I was saying that both teams are probably going to play this a little safe because they've got some key heroes with their buybacks on cooldown. Of course, Tinker and Shadow Fiend, both on cooldown with their buybacks. The Bat Rider and the Rostas, theirs are both going to be coming up pretty soon as well. So they were probably going to wait for those timers and try to do something on the back of those timers. If there was any team that was going to initiate and fight with those timers on cooldown, I think it is Invictus. And it made sense for them to be the ones to jump rather than the other way around. Because I think if they get the kill on the Tinker, that's really, really significant. If they lose their Shadow Fiend, they still have potential to hold on for a bit. Just the Tinker is a huge vulnerability. He's a lot harder to pick off. He's a lot harder to pick off than a Shadow Fiend. So you look at when this opportunity will arise again. And chances are it won't be as easy to come by. What the heck is going on with my mouse? 1 second. Are we good? We're good, okay. That was a cat hair on the mouse. I was like, my camera control's not very good, but that was a little atrocious. That one wasn't on me. This is a long one, 63 minutes. Everyone's buybacks coming back up. The only one left on cooldown is going to be Nilo on the Earthshaker. But his was a more recent buyback as he's got 4.5 minutes still left on his buyback. Keep in mind, Roche is available as well. On 99 apparently just hates trees. Flying around, burning them down. But that does mean that his Firefly's on cooldown. He wasn't doing that because he hated trees. He was doing it to clear any wards. He does have a gem on hand. So he's going around making sure there's no wards in the vision around Roche. But here we go. Here's probably the biggest fight of the game. Arjargus is going to get pulled by the lasso. Guardian Angel is going to be used by the Omni Knight. Teddy, west side, up on the high ground, but he's going to get locked down by Pinky Panda. Argus now in a man fight with Shadow in the middle of the screen. Shadow's going to be the one who's going to get focused down because DDS7 is going to jump in and try to help his teammate. Teddy Westside does get that kill on the Pinky Panda. That should allow him to come and join the fight, but his Spectre has already died, but he's going to buy back into the game. He does have Haunt available to him, so he's just going to TP down to the tier 2 and try to join the fight. And these heroes were trying to chase Owen, but unfortunately not able to secure a kill there. Whew. 2-for-2 trade. This game always even. We did have a buyback come out of the Spectre. Of course, that one's very, very significant. But this one's still incredibly even. DDS7 jumping onto Nilo, up onto the high ground, but his team is there helping him out. And Shadow is going to try to focus down DDS7, and he's going to go down, but he's going to respawn immediately thanks to this, the Bloodstone. Where the heck did that Storm Spirit go? But I don't know how he ended up in the bottom lane, but now he's going to jump back up just outside Roche Pit.
Here I am. Here I am.
Okay, now they're going to post up on Roche, and I think we're actually going to have Roche fall here. Will the Dire side be able to come and contest? This is the significance of those racks going down. The fact that the creeps are pushing, putting pressure on that mid lane, and forcing them to come and defend after, a little bit of a fight. a little bit away from making sure that they're controlling their lanes. Aegis will go on to steal. There is a cheese on the ground. Who's going to hold on to that? I think it's going to be the Omni Knight, who will get rid of his magic stick. DDS7 jumps on in the mid lane, forcing him back, but now DDS7 needs to make sure he's backing away. And once again, we have Argus and Shadow going in a man fight, attacking each other, but there's not going to be any resolution to that, as Bootzies is going to be the focus target. Everyone switches off of the Spectre and focuses on the poor Rasta. Not Rasta, Venomancer. Why did I say Rasta? I don't know. And I think
Dire's middle tower is under
this could be it, as Pinky Panda unfortunately goes down again, and that was a result of the Venom ult. But DDS7 is going to get lassoed and pulled into the fountain, and where he's going to get sheeped up by Teddy Westside. We are going to get a buyback from the Storm, as he's going to come back into the fight. And once again, he's going to jump right back in onto the Tinker. Try to focus the Tinker down. He's down to 100, and he's dead. Tinker is down, and he's now going to buy back into the game. Oh my god, so many buybacks. He's actually going to TP like 5 feet and try to help On99, but Argus is going to be able to get the kill. But On99 will buy back. Now Argus is the one running for his life. He's going to get right-click down. He's going to go down. And he has buyback available. He's going to buy back. Now he's going to TP back into the fight. Boots of Travel. Holy crap, how many buybacks are going off in this game? This is insane. On99 getting tossed up in the air from a Yules. Nilo jumping forward, trying to go onto DDS7, trying to focus him down, but DDS7's going to be fine. They're going to just kill Nilo. Nilo, no buyback. He's the only one in the game who hasn't been able to buy back, apparently. Teddy Westside force-staffing himself back. Steel dropping incredibly low. Will he take a fall? He does have Aegis, so he's going to come back. No one actually ever dies in this game, apparently. His Boopsies is going to go down. He can't buy back. With the Tinker dead as well, he can't buy back. I think we're finally going to have the end of this game, as Invictus, Shadowy, is going to take the win. The GG comes out from Nilo. Whew. What a game. Oh, what a game. What was that, 65 minutes? Something like that? 67, almost 68 minutes. Ooh, I think that may have been the longest game I've cast. What a game it was. I'm catching my breath after that. Nemo, this game was close for a long time, and there was a point where Nemo pulled ahead to almost a 10k lead. I think it was 7,500 gold lead was the highest it got to, but they pulled ahead. And that was all on the back of the Tinker. The fact that the Tinker was able to farm. Batrider had a lot of farm as well, but they really struggled to get their Spectre going. And you couldn't help but feel like at the end of that game, Spectre was becoming a force, but you could still sense that he was a lot weaker than the Shadow Fiend. And that's something that 67, 68 minutes into the game, it can't be a thing as your Spectre. And they just struggled to really get that Spectre going. I felt like he was held down way too much early on. He started to come back into the game, but it's just a hero that's so difficult to get back from, because he doesn't flash farm as well as most other hard carries in the game, especially when you're farming up against a Shadow Fiend and a Storm Spirit who can farm very, very quickly. It's hard for Spectre to get back in the game and get to the item level that he needs. But he was definitely a force at the end there. But in the end, it was a crazy game. That game could have gone either way. But Invictus does walk away with the win. They advance to the semifinals. They still have 2 more games to go. If they win the semifinals, then they're on to the finals. And, whew. I wonder if they're going to take a break. I know I need to take a quick 2-minute break to take a sip of water and stuff, because that game was nuts. But we still have 2 more, so hopefully you'll stay with us. Be sure to follow me on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, NizCast on all those channels. Easy to find. And come back for more, because we've got 2 more games tonight, but we also do this every Thursday and Sunday night. So you can always be sure to come in and check more games like this. Maybe not as long, but they're definitely fun, action-packed games. And hopefully you will come back and join us. But I'm going to take that much needed break for a few minutes. I'm going to throw it to music. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back shortly with our semifinals.